Okay, kiddos, do we look beautiful? Today is probably the warmest day in the history of Mexico City.
Well, at least for today.
At least for today. So you're gonna be sitting, mosquitoes are flying around. Then it just happened that Roy's studio is being under construction, so we cannot record there.
And he's getting naked right now.
He's losing some layers. Oh wow, look at he's been going to the gym. So I will do a full description. And I wanted to buy beer, but I thought today was a better day for sparkling from Querétaro.
That's really cool, man.
Okay, so
That's
everybody
fantastic.
close your eyes, because if this goes wrong, okay, yeah, protect the camera, right? Ay, uy, bebé. Ay, bebé.
That's really good.
Oof. Cesar, I really think this is a festive day. You know,
Really? Why?
I recorded the first batch of episodes with you.
I know.
And-
I know.
and-
I feel pretty glad about it.
Oh man, I'm the happiest. I'm really happy. I think it's been
But what about this measure that you're
sparkling. This measure.
this measure that you're giving us,
Okay,
man?
I'm sorry for that. Yeah, that's terrible. Well, it just
Doesn't look that festive to me.
well, we're not using cups. We're not using flutes. If there was a flute, it will be completely cool. Well, this is actually maybe this is where I want to start the conversation. Actually, so how many sparkling wines from Mexico have you drank in your life, Joven Cesar?
Oh man, that's a really bad question because I'm not really into wines. To be honest, like
Okay, we're gonna censor that, right? So we
Yeah.
are talking with Mr. Fermentation that just saw some
Yeah.
wild grapes in Morelos.
I mean, oh yeah. I'm not really into the world of wines because mostly like, well, I don't know if this is gonna be to the chapter, but to the podcast, but I mean, I was born in a really humble family, and wine wasn't the main option to consume.
I think all of us that was a thing. I think once I made some piece of research where I think 90% of the wine that was consumed in Mexico in the 2000s, from 2000 to 2010, was during Christmas.
Yeah.
It was never a thing of the everyday life.
Yeah, exactly.
Like-
And in fact, like in my family, in Christmas, it was mostly like this weird wine with
Cider-ish.
cider-ish. Yeah, it was like really bad quality. So like my experience with wine was like,
Well, no, we didn't grow up with this
Yeah,
at all.
totally.
Like this is not part of, I guess, our social tissue, our cultural tissue at all.
Yeah,
but I
totally.
guess I wanted to start with that because, again, a lot of the conversations we had when we first met were about traditional fermentations of this country, behaviors of yeast, a lot of, just like we went all around. And I was lucky enough to go visit you at your lab. I mean, you don't own the lab, but you...
But I was like working there.
You have a nice space in the lab. I saw some Windows 98 computer in there. It's a true story. Roy is laughing, but it was true. I was like, why is a Windows 98 computer going inside a lab?
Yeah, totally. Sometimes when I enter to the lab, it's like, man, I feel like I'm in the 70s or something like that.
Well, it's the other machines were from the 70s. The computer was from 98. Well, but I shouldn't be mocking that. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, it's okay. It's good. That's our budget.
It's fine. But I guess we were talking about a little Mythbusters experiment that you made.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because it's something that I mean, talking about our heritage culture and whatnot, it is something that I had heard of, from people, but I didn't know that it was accurate.
Yeah, well, that's for me, it was like a really interesting thing to do like lately. And I was like eager to work with that. But the thing is like, all the times when I was traveling through different regions that produce pulque, most of the people most of the producers add this husk of this green tomato.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, why do you do that? Like, what do you add that? Like, it's gonna change the flavor, or is it something like for what's like the last motive that you,
yeah, because the husk is not like juicy. It's not the most appealing.
No.
It's not like if you were asked like throwing chamomile or something aromatic, or it's like, why the husk of the green tomato?
Exactly. What the husk? So yeah, for me it's like kind of weird. Like, why do you use that? I mean, yeah, exactly. You don't have flavors, and it's not like you're gonna produce chilaquiles with that. Even though, like the husk doesn't have like a really
Nothing.
So yeah, that there are different applications of the husk, and for me, it was like kind of interesting. Like they use it for sore throat or some itches on skin. But definitely one thing that surprised me when I was like taking pulque around in different pulquerias, like the really wild pulquerias.
The really wild ones where people are dancing naked.
Yeah, kind of. Well, I mean, like really wild tinacales and places outside the city. I was super excited when I saw that people had this husk of the green tomato, like the species is Physalis. So I was like really surprised, like why the hell they use that? Like, what's the use? So yeah. So I was like recording.
Wait, but I do want like specificity here because I think we're talking about like something super, super specific. When do they add that? At the final product, when they're selling you the bottle, like what in which moment is this added?
Yeah, exactly. At the final time when they sell it in the bottle.
So it's final as pulque.
Yeah,
it is supposed to be at its peak.
Exactly.
And they will throw that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, exactly. Like an infusion, like a chamomile tea, but it was like a Physalis husk tea with pulque. So yeah, it was weird at the end of the fermentation. And I was like, what the hell they add that? So the answer of many of the producers that I know, that I met around these towns, they were like, well, basically is to preserve the pulque. They told me like, one way is like, the fermentation is gonna stop, and I was like, "No way!"
Those you don't know what I know about these G's. Yeah, they will survive. They will push through.
Exactly. I was like, "No, man, I cannot believe that." So we were like, "Okay, let's see what's going on the lab." So we basically, I was like trying to design an experiment about that, and then like I get a student to make those experiments.
Poor person,
yeah, definitely. She started to work with that, and she's Monse. She started working with that, and she made.
Thank you for your service, Monse.
Thank you for your service.
Definitely.
So what we look is like if there was like differences between when we add this husk of this green tomato, and our results were like shocking. Like we were like really surprised. We definitely see differences in the yeast composition and richness in the pulque that was like without the treatment with the husk, and also we corroborate if there was like differences between the pulque with the husk
or without the husk,
and without a husk. So we saw like there was no growing yeast on the plate where the husk was added. So we were like, holy fuck. I'm sorry for that.
No, please. We don't have sponsors, so you can say whatever the hell you want.
So we were like, holy fuck. So this works. So somehow we were like trying to replicate this with different amounts of husk. Like we try with different.
Yeah, because I'm guessing like, okay, now that you know that this is accurate.
Yeah.
And that's already shocking and surprising.
Yeah. So, for me, it was like.
Well, and it's not, because they're usually right.
Yeah.
Like, pulqueros are like your mother. Like, you know, they
know what they're doing.
They know.
Yeah.
They know
totally.
Immediately.
Yeah.
So, shocking, but. I mean, you're drinking some really good mezcal there, right?
Yeah,
sir?
Absolutely.
Yeah, the smell of this room is awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you, Chava.
And I guess then the question was like, which concentrations, or what was the question after realizing that actually happened?
Well, right now what we're currently working is like, well, the first thing that was shocking, it was like we didn't see any Saccharomyces species. So the alcohol content was like freeze like the metabolism of the.
Okay, because Saccharomyces are the most, usually, if my understanding is correct, are the most efficient at the transformation of sugar to alcohol.
Yeah, totally. So,
but it's not the only one in play. There's
several
many.
Several ones. We compare this different petri dishes, and we were like, oh my gosh, there's no Saccharomyces growth at all. Like for real, like there was none.
You're blowing my freaking mind. But I'll explain why. Like, I'm sure you're gonna get to it, but. Okay, so no Saccharomyces, others, but they're not consuming sugar at the same rate.
Exactly, yeah. So we were like, holy, what's going on? So we're testing like different concentrations right now. Like that was just like our first experiment about that. We definitely don't know what is really going on because we're also assuming that there's like a competition with other yeast strains like Rhodotorula, that it's another... it's a different yeast strain. It's from Basidomycetes, and it's always like related to the surface of other fruits or vegetables. But also, like I was talking with one guy from the University of Arizona.
Okay, wait. So right now, you are getting the true experience of Mexico City. So now we're not in a fancy freaking studio. This is what I hear in my house day in, day out. I'm sorry. Continue, please.
So basically right now it's like, we know that it has an effect on the pH and of the pulque. And also we checked that there was like a difference in the density. There was like changes in the density because fermentation stops. But what we don't know is like there's like an interaction with other yeast strains that develop. There's like the Rhodotorulas. So Rhodotorulas are like mostly related to spoilage of some like sausage fermentations, and other fermentation like it's related with the spoilage. This
Wait, by spoilage you mean literally rottening, nothing useful.
Yeah, like off flavors,
destruction.
Mostly. Yeah,
okay.
Mostly off flavors.
Okay,
too. So it's not a pathogenic yeast, but it brings like really bad quality to the products.
Oh, this is fascinating. Okay.
So somehow we were like, oh, this is interesting because the Rhodotorulas grow in the conditions with the husk. So what we don't know right now is like if this if adding the husk might promote the growth of other species. So it's like there's a competition there that we right now are working on. Like we're planning our next experiment. It's taking time because it's making by a student. So it takes time.
We're all students. We're all students
totally.
after all.
Yeah, totally. But like, well, anyway, like the first step is like, yeah, it happens. Like the husk of the green tomato
does
reduce, like freeze for a while the fermentations.
But wait. So obviously the question that everybody's asking in their heads right now, and this is so obvious to me, are we getting close to stable pulque because of this? Is there any way, and I'm sure this is your fantasy related to this study, is there any way in which you could add something that you synthesize based on the husk of the tomato, and you can put in a can of pulque and basically freeze fermentation until it's been consumed for 2 months, 3 months. So you're getting the beauty. You're getting the beauty of fresh pulque freezed in time. I'm a capitalist pig for only be thinking about it.
I know.
Oh, yeah,
but I like you because you're honest. So, well, to be honest, I don't know. And I don't think so because like there's a lot of interactions there. Like also there's like a whole bunch of bacterial groups growing on there. So somehow it's kind of complicated to deal with that diversity that pulque has. So I would say like probably it's like a hint over there.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Yeah.
But I don't think it's like we're getting closer. Like, and to be honest, I don't want to be closer to that. Like, I want to remain like pulque might be fresh for all the people and might be. Yeah, I know.
I mean, okay, so look at this stuff.
Yeah.
Like think about this. I mean, I'm gonna use this as an excuse to serve myself more wine, of course, but I'm gonna use it as an example as well. Like, I think this is one of the biggest achievements of stabilization of fermented stuff in the world. Wine, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can travel from freaking France in a boat to your house, and it's stable.
Yeah.
So, and I will say that it is nice for the world to have access to many different grapes and many different traditions, from Georgia in Eastern Europe, to Australia, to the US, to Argentina. It's nice. It's nice to sit on a table and be able to taste the world.
Yeah, totally.
So I think people deserve, I mean, I like humans, and I think they deserve the beauty of Pulque, even if they cannot come to Mexico.
Yeah, you're right. Like, I mean, yeah.
That was easy. That was so easy.
I mean,
I thought you were going to push back a lot harder.
I mean, I want to preserve this idea. Like, Pulque is something alive, and it doesn't need to be canned or bottled. But yeah, you're right. Like, in this sense, like, people deserve to taste all the flavors around the world. And to me, like, one of these wildest idea when I started the PhD was like, why don't we try to make Mexico in a bottle, but not like
not the festival,
not the festival, but it was more like
copyrighted.
Yeah, I'm sorry for that. Yeah, but,
hello there, mezcalistas.
Kind of my idea was like, there's a lot of things that we're missing right now in Mexico of fermentation. Like, yesterday, I have a conversation with guys from the University of Arizona, and they were like trying to understand what can they do with mosquito pots, and I was like, why don't you try to make like fermentation of that, or like flour, and try to do some bread, or also like promote bees and make honey with mosquito.
Yeah, which is delightful.
It's amazing type of honey. So there's a lot of things that you can taste in our diversity. So basically, one of my wildest idea when I was doing the PhD was
please do share. Please do share.
It was like, why don't we have like a bar with different kinds of fermentations that we have here in the city?
Why we don't have it is a shame.
I know.
It's such a silly situation that in 2024 we don't have a bar when we can walk in and have 12 different ferments of Mexico.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, I'm not going to do it. I'm just
no, I mean, me neither. But I was like thinking about that, and probably there's going to be a lot of people who's going to follow that path soon.
Hopefully. Honestly, hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah, but somehow it's like, I know we have different thinkings.
You're such a hippie kid.
I'm such a hippie. And I would say like also like this incomes from these bars should be give some money to the producers somehow.
I mean, we're getting into like, I mean, and I'm happy to walk in there because sometimes I think like people think of academics like you that are working in something specialized, as you just were mentioning. I mean, literally you're dissecting the different populations of yeast that are present in Pulque, which things are stopping or promoting their develop or their like armament, like armament race, and being which flavors are fortunate or not within that. So you're researching one of the most specific things that I can think of in right now in my mind.
Yeah.
But you're still also thinking about the social justice. You're talking about distribution of income of the people that developed and carry this heritage, right? And I think sometimes we forget that you can think of both things at the same time.
Yeah, totally.
Right? Like you can have both interests.
Yeah.
And it's a super complicated thing because it's hard for everybody. It's hard for the person that opens a restaurant. It's hard for the person producing the things in the field. All of those jobs, regardless of who you are, regardless of your upbringing, background, whatever, each one of these are really hard jobs.
Yeah.
And whoever has owned a bar or restaurant, whoever has worked in a bar or restaurant, they know that it is brutal. It is brutal freaking work.
Yeah.
So how to distribute in a fair, reasonable way the money that is generated by something like that, I don't know. Like it's
challenging. It's complicated. Like, I mean, everybody wants to have money, but nobody wants to pay the prices for the ecological damage or the cultural heritage.
Or the beauty that is in front of you that it's inaccessible anywhere else in the world.
Exactly.
What the first world has usually is government subsidies for these people. Yeah. We do not have such a thing that I can think of. I've never heard of a fund for mezcaleros to keep their heritage. I never heard of a fund of Mexico that is like, man, you keep on distilling on clay and I'll give you $100,000 a year if you keep on using clay pots and selling at a price that is reasonable for people that are bottling.
Yeah, totally. That's really interesting that you mentioned, Chava, because I would say like, I'm gonna make it like a sponsor of my new draft.
So he's gonna pay me for this. Yeah, like I want $1,000 for your.
So basically, what we're writing right now with Alejandro Casas from UNAM in Morelia and with Gary Nappen in University of Arizona.
All the mob, all the mafia, all the agave
mafias. So basically, what we're trying to, we're gonna publish something about social justice about fermentations, and
okay, you're gonna use social justice and fermentation in the same paper.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So what we're trying to highlight is like there's an environmental problem right now. Like we're changing drastically like our landscapes in order to make monocrops. And part of that is also like people like to work with the espadín and somehow, but also they also want to work with other species, and they really want to take care of the small spaces that they have other species like Karwinskis.
And when you say people, you mean
producers.
Producers, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, farmers, producers.
Yeah. Like
the whole chain.
One of the things that most of the people don't have in mind is like producers are not always all the time like all the cycle producing alcohol. This mezcal is most of the times they are also making other activities as for agroforestry or farming.
Yeah,
or
which
cattle.
can I like actually like I think that's not a great situation. If you cannot leave, imagine I were to tell you can only be a part-time academic. The rest of the year you have to find other stuff to do.
I mean, I would love to have holidays.
Well, yes, but I'm not talking about holidays. I'm talking you have to work something that is not your specialty 7 months of a year. Like people, like I hear this, and I used to romanticize this a lot, right?
Yeah.
Like these people are as diverse as a healthy piece of land should be. And I'm like, if you have a special talent,
exploit it.
Well, you should be doing that all year long.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sorry. Like, I think I just broke something in your head, but
no. Well, yeah. It's kind of like for real. It's kind of interesting because, to be honest, I mean, I would say like most of the academics have this issue of syndrome, imposter syndrome. Also, but also is like. I mean, we're not good at all of many things, like basic stuff. And people on the rancherias and all the stuff, like they're really good with all of that, dude.
I mean, sure, because we were raised as useless pieces of what we are, but that's different. All I'm saying is, like I hear this argument a lot. Like these people, they don't do only mezcal; they're multi-talented, right? They're like Renaissance men and women. I think that is not a great situation. Like, and I think that the argument will go, well, they're more independent because they can grow their own food. They can have their own milk. Therefore, they're more independent people than people in the city that we depend of others all year long.
Yes.
But you're an exceptional distiller. If you understand fermentation to the dot, that should be what you should be doing. Well, and you should be making exceptional money out of that.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you're right. O sea,
¿sabes cómo, güey? I mean, that's going to stay here.
Okay, got
it. That's the most fresa thing I've heard you say in my life.
Oh, man. I'm a hippie man, and then
You're hippie, but fresa when it comes to...
No, but you're right. Like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, like you can exploit that, but I mean the thing is like you cannot exploit all the time the land. Like
I'm not saying that.
No, but I mean you can do many stuff and
okay, so here's my example for this.
Yeah. Okay.
So and I've been thinking about this quite a bit, and I think I've said it to other people lately, but that's why I'm so interested in fruit spirits.
Oh man.
We've tried some stuff.
Yeah.
Like mango, zapote.
Man, you should try something that they made in maderas in Chihuahua with apples.
Apples, yes. So what I'm trying to say is, if you and this is completely aligned with the idea of more healthy approaches to agriculture.
Yeah,
corn. I mean, you can distill and ferment so many different things. What I am trying to say, if you have a tremendous, crazy amount of experience that relates to the art of fermenting and distilling, there's many ways of doing that all year long without abusing the land.
Yeah, definitely. But you need polycultures.
Of course.
You don't need to establish like
I'm poly customers.
Yeah.
You want customers that can drink mango and that can drink mezcal.
Exactly. Like, that's another point.
Sure. Let me serve your cup, sir.
Yeah, thank you, man. Like, yeah, you're right. Like sometimes people don't want to try something different with agave spirits. Like they will say like, oh man, why should I try something made with mango? Like,
but they're excited. Like we just released some with maguey melate. People love it because it's delightful. It's bright. It has the same amount of intensity and loveliness that agave spirits has, because the same people with the same mind.
Yeah.
And you try it like I mean, if you want, we can try some Armagnac or like some other distilled brandies that I have here, and they feel European. And then you try the freaking distilled mango that we make in this country, and you're like, this has the same intensity as mezcal.
Yeah. To be honest, that's a really interesting point, dude. Like, I mean, they need to satisfy all their necessities for somehow, like they need to cover all the expenses for maize consumption, the cattle consumption, and all those
sending their children to study to fancy universities, if you ask me.
Totally. Well, I was shocked when I met somebody in San Luis Potosí, and he told me like, I studied my career because I was selling pulque, and just for selling pulque, he was an engineer, and I was super glad to meet him.
Well, I was doing some numbers on pulque possible income. They're not bad.
No. To be honest, it's really interesting.
We should do an Excel sheet about that, because I was having a conversation with Martina from Colectivo Almacijo.
Oh yeah.
And she was giving me some numbers about it, and I was like, that actually sounds like pretty reasonable money if you can sell 100% of it.
Totally.
So yeah, no, I mean, not a huge surprise to me.
No, it's not a huge surprise, but I was like, for me at the beginning of my PhD, I was like, holy cow, because in San Luis Potosí, it was in Mezquitic, and they produce colonche, pulque, and also campanilla.
Yes.
So somehow
is Mezquitic or El Mezquital? I know of it as
it was in Mezquitic de Carmona, but also like closer there is the Palmar Segundo. They produce campanilla. So for me, it was like kind of shocking. Like there was different options to work on the field, go to the narcos, or
hey,
that's producers.
That's our reality. Jeez.
Yeah, to be honest, one of the things that I was talking with this girl from Ferment Radio, Aga. And I told her, like, well, to be honest, the thing that you asked me about the wines in Morelos with these wild grapes, we cannot go there right now because there's no access, because we have narcos there. So yeah, to be honest, part of our reality is like, we cannot do.
Aren't you loving our soundscape? Aren't you loving our soundscape? Like, this is how we show that this is a truly grassroots production.
Yeah, but we're to be honest, like, there's a lot of communities that I don't visit because
it's harsh. Yeah, it's harsh. and we're getting. We've been all over the place right now. I think that we started this sort of talking about the tomatillo or tomate, tomate husk. Then we wanted to wait, but I think it's again like I like when we're able to merge all of these conversations in one thing.
Yeah, for me, it's like kind of. I'm having fun too.
Okay, thanks, Cesar. Now that we got to a great conclusion here, I think, as you say, you and I have extremely different ways of thinking about this stuff. Yeah. And you tell me things, and I'm like, híjole. And you tell me things, and I tell you back things that...
I know you're a capitalist man, but I'm a hippie.
And then you say Osea, and that's perfectly fine.
Asshole.
Okay, so if we can go out of here with a conclusion, I think that it is you realize that the tomato husk can freeze fermentation or change the dynamic.
Slow down
fermentation, which is super exciting if you ask me, because that just brings us closer to stable pulque.
Yeah,
that could maybe travel the world.
Well, the other thing that it excites me about that is like, how many times do you think that people are aware of domestication of microbes, and also like how many times do you think like how many times people are aware to manage microbes, something that they don't see? It's like, for me, it was like crazy. Like, how do you know that this is gonna stop not only one yeast strain or bacterial strain, it's gonna change a whole community? Man, this is shocking, because this practice has been done for a couple of years, or I don't know how many times. We found
by a couple of years, you mean like many years?
Many years. Yeah. You're right. And I was like, how many times are we aware that we use and manage microbes? Something that we don't see.
That is freaking lovely.
So somehow it's like they are reading bubbles, textures, smells, odors, flavors, without knowing what's going on there. People is really aware how to use other senses rather just than visual cues, right? And I confirmed that when I was also like working with mezcaleros, and they were like reading literally the bubbles of the fermentation vat. So to me, it's like kind of interesting how people have this ecological knowledge on fermentations.
I love that ecological knowledge.
Yeah.
Because it's understanding a full
circle. Yeah. But because they are not only knowing the microbes that are in the fermentation vats, but also they are knowing the microbes that might be related to the plants that they use, and also not only the plants, but also the facilities that they promote in order to gather those microbes. That is crazy.
You're giving me the chills, man. You're giving me the chills. Like, that is... I think that in very simple, quick words, I think you mapped why this thing we're talking about, it's so incredibly and infinitely complex.
Totally.
Sir,
thank you.
It is always my pleasure. No, we're not gonna do like we're gonna do a I'm telling you, you're a fresa in disguise. Cheers, kid. This was Heritage Mezcal, the incredibly eclectic podcast that likes to delve into the depths of the country we call Mexico. I'm Chava Peribán, your host, and I truly hope you enjoyed this episode. All the sounds, all the music, and now all the videos living in YouTube are made by Roy Sierra. Tómese el mezcalito con gusto y medida, y nos miramos al rato.